What is going on, YouTube people? Northeast Ohio Sports Cards here to talk a little baseball today. We are going to discuss the man, the myth, the legend, the hottest thing this side of Tampa, Wander Franco, and why you should probably be selling him and definitely not buying him. So before we dive in, like, comment, sub, all the YouTube stuff down below. Market movers links, coupon code if you want all these fancy charts and graphs for yourself. All that being said, let's dive in. So, Wander got the call up this week. His card prices spiked accordingly. And if you had him, in my humble opinion, and I am no baseball expert at all, but to me, this just makes common sense. If you have his stuff, you should probably be selling it as fast as humanly possible. There is, in my opinion, a above average chance that he will be perfectly fine and his card prices are immediately going to come back down and maybe even lower than what they were before the spike. Everyone's been waiting for this moment. People have been trying to, buy the dip or whatever when he got sent down to start the season and this, that, and the other thing. And now his time has come and everyone is running to buy him. Maybe he's going to be the best thing since sliced bread. Odds are, and I'm willing to take the odds on this one, he's probably not. And maybe long-term he ends up being okay, but when you're playing the prospect game, it gets a little tricky. Plus, he would have to perform so well to justify his current price levels, it would be nearly impossible. We've seen this time and time again. These prices spike on these guys. They either A, don't play well and it crashes hard, or B, they play fine and the prices pull back very quickly. Odds are the second one of those two things is going to happen. He'll be just fine. But unless he literally lights the world on fire, his card prices are going to come back down again. That is just the way this works 95% of the time. And in these situations, I'm going to err on the side of taking the profit and moving on to the next thing. At this point, we're specifically talking about his Bowman Chrome first, his paper and his Chrome. His paper price prior to the call up was $66 in a PSA 10. It spiked up to currently $150 for a PSA 10 paper. His Chrome was right before the call up $215 for a PSA 10. It is currently at $299. Chrome, not that rare. Almost 10,000 of these things on the population count. That's a lot, especially by Bowman standards. The paper, actually a little less at 5,200. Not a small number either. Let's look at some things that you could have instead of these two cards. Or if you say you had $300 to spend and you wanted to buy a baseball card. Instead of buying the Wander Chrome, you could buy these other things or take the opposite tact. You have Wander Franco Bowman Chromes and you're wondering if you should sell or not. Odds are this is the peak price for this season is right now. There is a good chance the highest price these two cards will ever be is this week. Is it 100%? No, nothing's 100%. But I think more often than not, this will be the peak of his prices this season. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. Who knows? Before the season started, I said it was probably a good idea to pretty much sell everybody. Other than Ohtani and Vlad, that's worked out pretty well because as we've seen before, most of the time, these guys do not live up to the hype that their card values have. The There's so much baked into the values that they have to play out of their freaking mind. Acuna played out of his mind and his stuff went up. And guess what? He cooled off and his prices went right back down again. Tatis having a monster season. His stuff has cooled way off. Soto's been up and down most of the year. His prices are way down. Soto as a player has been up and down. Vlad and Ohtani are way up on the season. Over the last 90 days, if you look, pretty much most of the baseball market is down except for Vlad and Ohtani. Biggest reason why, they did not see huge price run-ups in the preseason, in spring training. Ohtani did a little bit, but not Vlad. They came out like gangbusters, and the prices corrected in season. That seems to be the trend that we see with all the sports. The guys that get big inflated price bumps in the lead up to the season go down once the season starts, almost like clockwork. Sometimes you see mini spikes like you saw with Acuna, and you could apply this to football and basketball as well. Guys like Vlad, who did not see huge run-ups and then outperform, see massive price increases. We saw the same thing with Joker and Embiid during the NBA season. They did not see price increases in the run-up to the season. They played out of their mind and their card values spiked up, while pretty much everyone else went down because they saw massive run-ups in prices in the preseason. So here we sit, Vlad Chrome, $300, pop $9,200. People are going nuts for this thing. And I personally think you should be selling. This feels like one of those things you lock in the profit. And if you really want the card, you'll be able to buy it back in 2-3 months for probably less. If he ends up going out and just goes insane and has a monster season, you win some, you lose some. But odds are, more often than not, just taking the profit and moving on is the smarter play. So let's say you wanted to reinvest that same $300 back into the baseball market. You can get some pretty good deals right now. A lot of stuff is down. Let's scroll through the list. How about Acuna? Speak of the devil. This is his paper and his chrome. So let's say you had a paper Wander and a chrome Wander. You could sell it, and you need to chip in a little bit, but you could get a chrome Acuna Bowman first for $370 right now. Down quite a bit. These are all charts I just did for 14 days. So the percentages don't really mean much change-wise. We're mostly looking at the current ending average. So $370, you can get an Acuna Chrome. Pop, $6,000. About half that of the Wander, and there's probably more Wander coming on to the Pop report. There's probably a lot of those sitting at PSA, would be my guess. The paper, pop $3,000, only $120. You could sell a Wander Franco Bowman paper for $150 and buy an Acuna first Bowman and still have $20-$30 left over. I understand Wander has a lot of hype. Do you really think he's going to be as good as Ronald Acuna Jr.? I don't. Vlad, let's say you sell the Topps Chrome, or I'm sorry, the first Bowman Chrome for around $300. For the same exact price, almost identical, you can have a Vlad no number. 2019 Topps Base, missing card number, PSA 10, pop 4,000, $300. This card's also up a lot too. But Vlad's in the running for Triple Crown, and if Ohtani gets hurt, the AL MVP. Versus the hopes, wishes, and dreams of what Wander Franco could be. And like I said, there's a chance Wander could be great. I'm playing the math game here, and the odds are he will be just fine. And a just fine Wander Franco is not going to maintain his current card prices, in my opinion, based on everything we have ever seen. How about Tatis? Would you rather have a 2019 Topps Chrome Tatis base or a Wander Franco first Bowman for basically the same price? $300 and $295, and slightly lower pop on the Tatis. Though this will probably increase slightly as well since it's 2019, but probably not as much as the Wander will, in my opinion. I would rather have the Tatis. Proven. Monster season, even with the shoulder issue. Monster year. World Series contender, maybe, question mark? Who knows? Here's a couple. Soto, Topps Chrome, $260, $40 cheaper than the Wander, same population count. Acuna Chrome, a little less, but same pop count, $215. Or how about an Ohtani base Chrome, PSA 10, $263. You could save $40. You get the Ohtani and $40 for the Wander Franco. I take the Ohtani every day, all day. If he stays healthy, he is your AL MVP. Having an absolutely ridiculously historic season. The only thing that makes me nervous about him is the injury threat. I didn't include it on the list because I went with the no number instead. But if you don't like the no number and you like the Chrome, you could just as easily have a Vlad Topps Chrome. That simple. So could Wander Franco be great? Yes, he could. Absolutely. Do I think it's going to be this season? I don't know. I really don't. But I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to play the odds that Wander does not live up to the hype. And he can have a perfectly fine season. He could hit 300, hit some home runs, drive in some runs, walk a bunch, high OBP, whatever numbers you want to throw out there. Unless it's absolutely insane numbers, his prices are going to go down. We see it all the time. And I am willing to err on the side of caution in these situations, take my profits, and move on to the next thing. Rinse and repeat. By riding these things out and saying, oh, no, it's going to keep going up. That's how you get yourself in trouble and upside down on stuff. And let us not forget, you can always buy the cards back later. If you really like the player that much, sell when you think it's at a peak, which in my opinion is right now. Wait for the prices to come back, take your profits on it, and then you can always buy it back. If it dips down, 50, 60, $100, whatever, goes back down to $200, you could go buy that card back. And now you made $100 profit on it. I mean, look at Kalenic cards. He got called up, prices spiked, right down to the bottom. Here's the Kalenic chart. Same thing. He had a lot of hype in the preseason. He gets called up. His prices spiked. Now, he fell on his face. He did not play well at all. I don't necessarily expect that out of Wander Franco, but it's in play. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. I think Wander is going to be a perfectly fine, above average Major League Baseball player right from the start. I just don't know that he's going to put up absolutely next level numbers to justify his current prices. But you can see exactly what happened with Kalenic. His cards spiked. Let's see. His paper got all the way up to $300. His Chrome got all the way up to $330. At present, it's a $51 and $120 card. Once again, I don't expect Wander Franco to bust out like he did, but it's technically possible. I don't think he would ever go this low, but you just get the idea here. This stuff moves fast. So, in my opinion, take your profits on Wander, either hold on to them or put it into the next thing. Take the profits from Wander and go buy the dip on Soto, Tatis, Acuna, or buy high on Ohtani and Vlad, if that's your thing, if you think their stuff's going to keep going. So, I'd like to know your thoughts. What are you guys and girls doing with Wander? Holding, buying, selling? What's your thoughts on this matter? That's all I have for you guys and girls today. Catch you on the next one. Peace.